as it should be. Each team is in search of a happy ending as the final chapter gets written next. Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana. On a cool, wet day, we're set for the Big 8 against the Big 10 as the Missouri Tigers invade Hoosierland against Indiana. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to Bloomington, Indiana, where today Bob Stull brings his Missouri Tigers in, hoping to snap a 7-game losing skid. He's trying to rebuild the football program now in his 4th year at Missouri, much like Bill Mallory has done over the years here at Indiana. And Gary Danielson, what a great job Bill's done. 5 winning seasons over the last 6 years, and he's usually done it with a great ground game.
Well, really, it's been his trademark at IU, the tailback position. As you said, for 5 years, he's had 2 of the best in Big Ten history. Anthony Thompson and Vaughn Dunbar. They've accounted for 8,300 yards and 92 TDs. This year, he really doesn't have anybody yet. 4 players still trying to emerge, and really what Mallory needs is consistent yards out of that position to help Trent Green.
Well, you'd think he'd get it on a day like today against the Missouri team that last year was 105th against the rush in the country. That's out of 106 schools. Boy, that one will get us going. But this is a different Missouri defense.
Well, it really is. Bob Stull has a new recruit. His name is Don Lindsay. He's a coach, and really he's the key man. He's the doctor of defense. You see where his credentials are made at USC, Arkansas, Georgia Tech, and Alabama. And he's going to provide an attack defense. But the most important thing I think that Don Lindsay's going to provide to Missouri is for a defense that was ranked so low. He's got credibility to give them the self-image that the defense needs.
Well, duck season didn't open with that blast a couple of moments ago, but it's that kind of weather. We're high and dry up here. I don't know about Charlene Hawks on the sideline. Charlene?
Brad, you won't be able to miss me. I'm the only one down here in Bates. It's been raining all morning long. It's just now beginning to let up, and on artificial turf, a little bit of water is actually a good thing. Makes for better traction. If there is a downpour, both teams play on artificial turf at home, so they're both familiar with wet turf. They know what to do on it. If it does begin to rain more, they will change. I talked with some of the Indiana coaches down here, and they have expressed absolutely no concern about the rain. In fact, their attitude is, we're playing against Missouri, not Mother Nature. The only adjustment they have made, some of the players are wearing a turf shoe called the Nike Destroyer. Sounds like a battleship to me, and with all this water, seems appropriate, Brad.
Okay, we're almost set to tee it up. Indiana and Missouri, the Tigers have never won in this series. They hope to pull an upset on the road today. Before we kick it off, let's go back to the studio. Tim Brando. Tim?
All right, thank you very much, Brad. It's the final Saturday of the month of September, and a number of games that we'll be following today. And in fact, an interesting menu here on ESPN. We invite you to stay with us throughout the day. The Residents Inn College scoreboard at 3:30. Chris will join up with Lee and Craig. Then Davis Cup semifinals, the USA leading Sweden 2-love, and it'll be doubles today featuring John McEnroe. Sports Center will highlight the Pirates and A's who could clinch their respective divisions today. The scoreboard show, the most comprehensive scoreboard show on college football to follow at 7. Then Clemson and Georgia Tech at 7:30 Eastern Time. Now, Boston College taking on Michigan State. George Perlis' defense has not been there all year, particularly his defense against the rush. And here is sophomore Dwight Shirley going 80 yards. First play on that particular drive, a one-play 80-yard drive for Shirley, and the Boston College Eagles have taken a 7-0 lead in that ball game. Now, North Carolina and NC State are playing in a pivotal ACC game. Take a look at this running play. Rick Steinbecker is stops Gary Downs here, who's trying to punch it in on 3rd and goal from the 1. They settle for the Vittich field goal to make it a 7-3 ball game at this, a 3-0 or 3-3 ball game, I should say, at this particular time between Carolina and NC State. All right, stay right where you are. We'll have all the scores, all of the highlights throughout the day. Trent Green is on display, a Big Ten passer you'll not soon forget. Stay right where you are.
The temperature never drops below 0. That's very important to remember at a time like this, when it's very cold and you've got to get going. Ah, you did remember Xerox Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below 0.
A noble warrior once advised, be vigilant against unfragrant perspiration. My ritual is Right Guard Sports Stick for maximum wetness protection. The best defense is not to offend. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less will be uncivilized.
Selling a house is no vacation, but that's just what the Walkers got when they sold their house with our ERA office. The ERA Seller Security Plan guaranteed that if we didn't sell their house, ERA would buy it. ERA even agreed to take the risk of selling the house at a loss. But when we sold it for more, the Walkers got the profit. They used the extra money to take a vacation. The ERA Seller Security Plan, just the kind of help you'd expect from a friend. Call 1-800-ERA-SOLD. ERA, first in service.
ESPN's presentation of Big Ten college football is brought to you by Xerex Antifreeze Coolant. The temperature never drops below Xerex. Scott Bunnell will tee it up for Indiana. The Hoosiers won the toss and deferred to the second half, so Missouri will have it offensively to start the ball game. And back deep for the Tigers, Mark Jackson and Jerome Madison. Missouri comes in 0-2 for the first time since '85, and back in '85, Indiana handed them their third straight loss, 36-17. Long-standing series finishes off today, and the Tigers looking for a win. They'll touch it first, and from the 4-yard line, it's Madison. Got across the 25 to about the 26-yard line, and that's where the Missouri offense will go to work first. And they'll do it with a 2-quarterback system as we take a look at our Energizer starting lineups. But the guy that'll get the call first is Phil Johnson. Cahill and Freeman join him in the backfield. His favorite target is a deep threat, Victor Bailey, along with Kenny Holly, and Gardner is the tight end. And up front, second team all Big 8 a year ago, Mike Badosky is a good one with Crowell, Petrus, Hembro, and Snisky. Richard Honig, our referee, on a split crew today.
Yeah, Missouri was offsides. I think they're going to kick it over again.
So we'll start it all over from Bloomington, Indiana.
Do we have to do the lineups again?
I don't think so. We'll do the defense for you pretty shortly, though. I'll tell you that much. Bob Stull in his 4th year, 9 wins, 25 losses, and 1 tie. And they are encouraged by what has gone on the first couple of weeks. They lost to Texas A&M last week 26-13 after having a 10-0 lead. And against Illinois in the season opener, it was all the Illini until the second half, and Missouri came storming back and only lost by a touchdown. On the other hand, Bill Mallory's Hoosiers are 1-1. They're coming off a loss at Kentucky last week. And there's what he's done at home in the last 6 years. They call this place the house, and they don't want anybody invading their territory and going home with a victory. So that's what they're hoping to avoid against Missouri, a hungry team today. We'll try it again. This time, Bunnell's got it teed up from the 40-yard line. And again, Jackson and Madison are back deep. From the same spot, but losing the handle and picking it up at the 12, out to the 17 is Madison. And Arnold Mickens on the special team made the hit. We gave you the Missouri offense, so let's take a look at the Indiana defense. Larry McDaniel, a St. Louis, Missouri native, leads the crew up front with Whittington, McCormick, and Mills. At linebacker, the only true freshman to letter last year, Al Thurman, plays the middle with Davis and Mickens flanking him. In the secondary, Mike Middleton missed the first 2 games with mononucleosis. He's back with Richardson, Watts, and Brown. And the Tigers will work from their own 16. The game, the 3 wide receivers set. John wants to throw and has the time. Goes to his safety valve and only about a 2-yard gain on the play as he got it to Gardner, his tight end.
Gardner was slow blocking on that play, and that's really what Johnson has to do, is have patience with the offense and not try to force the big plays that he's had a problem with in the past.
A 2nd down and 7 coming up for Missouri. South's own 19-yard line. And second man through finds an opening, and Freeman gets across the 25, close to a first down, and looks like he's about a foot. Middleton. A 3rd down. I think they'll take a look at the
That's defensive coordinator Joe Novak for IU. He told me that the two key plays they needed to stop in the run was the weak side isolation and the weak side draw trap, and that was a big pop right there on the weak side isolation. So, you know, you work for it on all week, and they hit the one play you said you had to stop.
Well, they got the first down. Out of the ball game, East yard line. Bill Mallory's defense last year was 18th in the country. So far, they've seen Missouri out to its initial first down here in these stages. From the 26, the toss to Freeman again. Nicely through the linebacking core and into the secondary to the 35-yard line. He got 9 before Damon Watts and Lance Brown brought him down.
Freeman is averaging 6.8 yards carry. This is a toss play that looks like it's going to go to the outside, but it's really designed to come off tackle inside. Quick toss to the tailback, and Freeman has the great quickness. He's had some fumble problems, but he's following Badowski, number 79, who does a lot of pulling for Missouri. Great job. Second team All Big 8 last year, and he's on his way to becoming a first-timer this year.
They'll follow him a lot today. This time straight up the middle, and a first down out across the 40 to the 41-yard line goes Ronnie Cahill, the fullback.
The big difference in this Missouri team for Bob Stull this year is they've gone back to his UTEP offense that he was so successful with. He has a tight end this year, different running backs, and they are featuring the run more than the pass. They ran for 179 yards last week versus A&M.
Bill Johnson has a look on first down from the 41. Plenty of time to throw. Goes deep middle and has it down to the 38-yard line to the big play man, Victor Bailey, the senior out of Fort Worth, Texas. Damon Watts there with him, but Bailey is a good one, and he's just getting better every week, Gary.
Yeah, Bob Stull told me he needed to get Victor Bailey the ball early. He has a tendency to get frustrated if he doesn't get the ball, and he's their big play guy, as you said, at receiver. Kind of a high throw, but, you know, at 6'4", 200 pounds, Bailey can go up and make those throws look pretty.
21-yard pickup. Down really, to the 39-yard line.
The middle of the zone for IU is open. That was a good call.
3 wide receivers set here. On a blitz, Freeman gets the call and gets stacked up as he got back to the line of scrimmage. Lamar Mills made first contact. Defensively, Indiana is missing a great player on the front wall, Gary, and that's not going to help him.
Absolutely. Bill Mallory was so upset about Charles Beauchamp not being able to play. He was a sure All-Big Ten, maybe an All-American. He called him his best linebacker or defensive end he's ever had here. And, you know, Mills and Whittington are going to have to step up and make those plays.
There's some of the hurting Hoosiers. Beauchamp out for the year with that knee. Bamba, defensive tackle, played a lot, rotated at tackle. John Miller should be back in a week or so. They're leading inside linebacker, but he has missed this season so far too. Salih throws one out of bounds intended for Ronnie Cahill. Salih's quite a story. Normally plays wide receiver, but he's been a quarterback in the past before making the switch to receiver a year ago. And you'll see him do that maybe a couple more times before the day's all done.
Yeah, it's not like they took Johnson out of the game, Brad. Johnson was lined up as a wide receiver at the bottom of the screen. You see right on this play, no backs in the backfield, and Salih, who's a quarterback, third-string quarterback, comes up with a little package of his own.
Now it's 3rd and 10. 8th play of the drive coming. The blitz on Johnson. Picked up. And he overshot Salih's intended receiver. Nice coverage by Damon Watts. So the Indiana defense stiffens on 3rd down.
Salih had man-to-man coverage, but he stumbled coming out of his pass route that time, and there's nothing but Johnson could do but just throw that ball safely to the outside.
Kyle Pooler got the start last week, and that's what he responded with. A Missouri record for single-game punting, 52+ per kick. Set to kick it to Scott McGowan, back deep for Indiana. McGowan just lets this almost found the corner, but not quite. 39-yard kick, a touchback, and it'll be Indiana offensively from its 20-yard line when we come back. 12:06 to go first quarter. We're scoreless in Bloomington.
Tonight on the Adventure Channel, join explorer Marceau Soulinaire as he unlocks the mystery of the Great Barrier Reef.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
generations run, we'll be #1. Nothing beats a Bud.
This is the end of Head & Shoulders as you now know it. It's better. Now it gets to 10 times more of the places dandruff starts to help prevent flakes. New Head & Shoulders. This could be the end of flakes.
The new Isuzu Trooper
Right on time.
has been completely redesigned to include a new suspension system.
Honey, pothole.
I see it.
Making for a smooth, quiet ride on the road as well as off. Of course, these days, what's the difference?
ESPN's presentation of Big Ten college football is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives. And by Energizer batteries. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. Well, you don't have to turn the sprinklers on those flowers today. In Bloomington, wet and cool and no score as Indiana's got it for the first time this afternoon from its own 20-yard line. We'll set the starting lineups after this play as Trent Green gives it off in a tough run of 6 yards for Brett Law, who's making his first start at tailback for the Hoosiers this afternoon. Law, a sophomore out of Sheridan, Indiana, as we look at our Energizer starting lineups for Indiana on offense. Law is the man with Kearns and Trent Green, a good one at quarterback. At the wide receivers, Thomas Lewis and Scott McGowan, and up front Todd Smith, the only true returning starter from last year on that offensive front wall. 2nd and 4 as Green throws wide open over the middle. Lewis has it across the 45 to the 46. 21 yards. Maurice Benson, the rover, brought him down. There's the numbers for Lewis as he picked up 21 yards on this one.
Off the counter tray action, Lewis comes underneath the coverage that time. A nice easy throw, and Trent Green throws as well off the moving pocket as any quarterback in the Big Ten.
We've got an injured Tiger right at the end of the play. As Thomas Lewis leading the country in kickoff returns coming into this game, and you see what he can do as a wide receiver. Man down is Jermaine Wilkins, the bandit, back in this attack offense of Missouri's, a senior out of Columbus, New Jersey, and on his feet.
You can see the game plan taking place for IU with that attack defense that Don Lindsay likes to play, crowding men near the line of scrimmage. Indiana will spread out their formations and try to get one-on-one matchups with strong safeties and converted linebackers playing strong safety.
Both offensives have looked sharp in their opening drives. Missouri had 3 first downs before their punt, and now Indiana out to the 46-yard line. And it's Law, the second man, got it to midfield, maybe to the 49. Maurice Benson again in on the tackle. Missouri defensively. Don Lindsay says Rick Lyles, our best football player, moves from defensive end to tackle this year with Elliott, Watkins, and Murray up front. The linebacking core, Ringenberg and McDonald, and it's a bandit and a rover, and you've already seen what that rover can do. Benson with 2 tackles already today. The leading tackler for Missouri is their free safety, Andre White, joining Kevin McIntosh and Jason Oliver. 2nd down and 6, right at the midfield stripe for the Hoosiers. Draw play to Law. Boy, he found some room. It looks like he's got another first down. Montana Wagner in on the tackle.
Bill Mallory said what he needed from his tailbacks was positive yards, consistent yards, and tough yards. That's what Law's going to give him. Reminds him a little bit of Blake Ezor, the old Michigan State tailback that was so successful for the Spartans. And he's going to take it north-south and be a punishing type runner.
Last year, Law against Missouri, 3 carries for 21 yards. I think he's got that already this afternoon.
And really with the emergence of Trent Green this year, Brad, they really don't need the big yards of a Vaughn Dunbar. Sure, they'd love to have it, but they can get by with positive games from the tailback and spread it out with their passing game.
And they'll interchange those tailbacks as the day goes along. We'll see some of Jermaine Chaney and Emmett Pride. So far, Brett Law's done a fine job. And He has Indiana a first down at the Missouri 44-yard line. No score, 10-20 remaining first quarter. See if Green puts it up on first down. He changes things at the line. And he's feeling the heat and going deep for Lewis. Just overshot it.
Wow.
It was there, Gary.
I'll tell you, Trent Green dodged a man first and then flat-footed threw a ball about 60 yards in the air, and he didn't put a lot of air under it. I mean, he just rifled that thing down there. He is a big, strong guy and very accurate thrower. You can see Green dodge one man, just reset his feet, doesn't ride up in the pocket, and just rips a throw down the field and overthrows a pass that a guy, Lewis was down there maybe 40 yards when he let it go, and he threw it another 20 yards over his head. Great arm strength.
2nd and 10. Trent Green, the Missouri native, who switched states to play his college football. Hands off, little delay draw as Law takes it outside and got 5 before he got hammered. Mark Pedrati and Mike Ringenberg in on the tackle defensively. It will bring up 3rd down and close to 5.
Well, Bill Mallory smiling after only 40 yards of rushing last week against a very similar Kentucky defense. He knows the difference from lining up here now 3rd and 4 and then getting nothing on that play and have to convert a 3rd and 10. And I'll tell you, Trent Green, and we saw him a lot last year in '91, is very effective using his receivers in converting 3rd down situations.
3rd and a long 4, Indiana. 34% on their 3rd down conversion so far this year. And the blitz coming. Law picks up that blitz and Green rifles it complete. And a first down to the 28-yard line to Eddie Beatty. Indiana first down, a man down in the backfield. I think it's Tom McKinnon, the right tackle. Well, we've got a moment. Let's go down to the sideline to Charlene Hawk. Charlene?
Brad, Missouri's number 28, Jermaine Wilkins, just had his bell rung. They'll sit him out just for a few minutes, and he will be back in the next series.
He might have company on the other sideline by the time Tom McKinnon gets to his feet. Big right tackle, sophomore.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Trent Green is hoping that that's a bell rung and not that right knee that he has that big brace on. See that right there? And I'll tell you, for a quarterback, especially with a young offensive line that is still playing, as Bill Mallory told us, rather erratic, Trent Green needs those tackles to come through.
We'll check on Tom McKinnon when we come back. 9 minutes, 14 seconds to go first quarter, and we're scoreless here in Bloomington.
A lot of people come to Subway for big food. They're in for a shock when they see our new 79-cent round sandwiches. Not just because of their shape, but because it's pretty amazing to think you can get a delicious sandwich on fresh-baked bread for only 79 cents. They're perfect for people who don't want to pay a lot to eat with one hand. 79 cents, not since you were a little kid, has your lunch money jingled.
For more information on the new 79-cent sandwiches, bring your appetite to the Subway near you.
The new Isuzu Trooper has been completely redesigned to be as smooth and comfortable as possible, especially where you feel it the most. Introducing the new Trooper Lease. See your participating Isuzu dealer for details. The new Isuzu Trooper has been completely redesigned with a powerful new V6 engine, gripping new suspension. Why, it's even easier to get into. Introducing the new Trooper Lease. See your participating Isuzu dealer for details.
High-performance cars, luxury performance cars, family cars, light trucks. If you've got the car, Michelin's got the tire.
Tom McKinnon still down, the right tackle. And as Gary mentioned, this is a very young Indiana offensive front. They can ill afford to lose another guy. Only 23 combined starts across the front 5. And already they've given up 12 sacks this season after only giving up 24 all of last year. But there's 2 redshirt freshmen, I should say a redshirt freshman, 2 sophomores, and 2 juniors on that front line. So they're going to have to bring McKinnon out, and Jason Boyd, another sophomore, will go in at his spot.
with a very mobile quarterback and the amount of play action passing that Trent Green uses. 12 sacks is a very disturbing number for Bill Mallory. So that is a big area of concern heading into the Big Ten.
The Hoosiers come up for the 8th play of the drive and a first down at the Missouri 27-yard line. Law broke one tackle to the 14-yard line. Mark Pedrati brings him down, but a pickup of 16.
Another off-tackle play, but what you see for Missouri is what they call 8 in the box. And actually, this is the free safety. He's really the 9th guy in the box for Missouri, but an off-tackle play, good blocking. And what Law does right here is a nice cutback off the free safety, Wagner, and you see Law gain north and south yards for IU.
The Hoosiers go to a 2 tight end set with a first down at the Mizzou 13-yard line. Law this time met at the line. Nice job defensively as Mike Ringenberg, the linebacker, came up and made first contact. Maurice Benson, the rover, cleans up, the senior out of Manhattan, Kansas. George Ballou right there in the middle of your screen. The offensive coordinator for the Hoosiers. See what he's come up with. Second down and a long 9. Law cuts up inside, lost the ball. Big pile up at the goal line. Well, Missouri football.
They're signaling touchback. Good call, Brad, because I'll tell you, Law does everything right all the way down the field, and then he gets popped for a fumble when he's about to score or get down to the 1 or 2 yard line. Same play they have been running all game, a toss, but it is a designed off-tackle play. It's not trying to get wide. Law is going to take this pitch from Trent Green and try to cut inside his fullback's block. He's trying to cut back the whole way. There you see the good blocking. He cuts inside, and boom, he gets hit from the backside. Ball pops free, and
covered by Missouri right at the goal line.
Missouri gets the ball.
Jerome Madison, the free safety, is the guy that made the hit. After a great-looking drive, not only do they not get a touchdown, they don't get 3. They fumble it away, and Missouri comes back on offense, and they've got a first down. Freeman just takes tacklers with him. Penalty marker on the play as he goes for 16 yards.
Yeah, I think at the end of that play, you can see the IU defensive backs trying to tackle the football, but he might have got the face mask right at the end of it.
So both tailbacks off to great starts, and Freeman, after the 16-yard pickup, gets that tacked on to it. And Missouri, moments ago, looking at being down maybe 7-0, have the ball rolling in the other direction.
5-yard face mask, defense, end of the run, first down.
Kentucky piled up some big yards against this proud IU defense. They finished #1 in the Big Ten in total defense in Big Ten conference games last year, and they may be tackling the ball a little bit too much and have to start wrapping up.
At the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. Freeman again, little misdirection this time. Got him maybe 2, and that's it. Stood up by Bernard Whittington and Al Thurman. Don't forget, you can get a full recap of this college football Saturday tonight on the Residence Inn College Scoreboard Show tonight at 7. And then we'll go to the ACC, to the Flats in Atlanta. Bobby Dodd Stadium, where Georgia Tech plays host to the 16th-ranked Tigers of Clemson. The more football action. It'll be a great game in Atlanta tonight here on ESPN. The 1-yard pickup, 2nd and 9. And that draw is going nowhere to Cahill. Al Thurman, the sophomore that we talked about, the only true freshman who lettered defensively for Indiana last year there to make the stop.
Right, we talked about the 2 key plays they had to stop. That's the other one right there. The weak side draw away from the tight end. They run it off a trap blocking, and Al Thurman, you know, he saw it all week, and he was ready for it and stepped inside the play to make it.
Computer science major, and he had the right disc in the right spot there, I guess. 3rd down and a long 10 to go for the Tigers.
Sully's in at quarterback, and you see Johnson way down at the bottom of your screen here. Watch the draw.
Trips to the left side. Won't be a draw now.
Quarterback
goes
draw.
The other way.
Quarterback draw.
You're right. Sully, there he goes. Nice call, Coach.
Well, it's a safe play at that end of the field right there, and Sully can turn a 3rd down and long into a 1st down type play.
business major